Your business needs help. 56.1 million employees are employed by small businesses in the United States, and 99% of all U.S. establishments are small businesses under 250 employees. That means that your business should be listening to the only podcast dedicated to small business success. That's Growth Success Radio, growthsuccessradio.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Growth Success Radio. Yes, let's try that again. Good morning and welcome to episode 18 of Growth Success Radio. This is Scott Gombar. This is episode 18. I am Scott Gombar of Scott Gombar Digital Marketing. And with me is Eugene Resnitsky. He's my co-host. Eugene, how are you?
Good. How are you, Scott?
I'm great. I got to remember to turn things back on when I turn them off.
Yeah, I just can't believe it's Friday again.
Friday doesn't really matter in our world, does it?
No, but just the weeks just fly by.
This is true. It's almost Christmas again.
Yeah.
Or for you, Hanukkah. So this is episode 18. We're going to be talking to Wayne English. He is a content developer, among other things. He's going to talk to us about that today. He is here with us, but he has not hopped on the seat yet. So while we're waiting for him, this show is sponsored by Traeger Insurance and Scott Gombar Digital Marketing. We are live every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, most Fridays. And there's Wayne now. And, occasionally we have to make exceptions for our guests. But today and most Fridays, it is 10 a.m. Eastern. You can also listen to or watch past episodes on growthsuccessradio.com. And I strongly encourage you to do that because later this year, we're going to reveal that there is a missing episode, and we might have a little challenge surrounding that. So go there and figure out which one is missing, and when that challenge comes up, you might win something. I don't know, a free insurance quote or a free website analysis. I don't know. Maybe it'll be something exciting. Maybe we can get Vlad to send you a T-shirt.
Cookies.
Cookies. Yes. Speaking of which,
Moon rocks.
Marnie is going to be on a blab next Thursday with Zeph Zan, and I'm co-hosting. It's going to be fun. So more about that later. So Eugene, tell us about Traeger Insurance while Wayne is...
Sure. We are... Well, I'm co-owner of Traeger Insurance. We are an independent insurance company based in Meriden, Connecticut. My role within the agency is president of commercial lines, so I'm in charge of growing the commercial lines department as quick and as fast and as profitable as possible.
Well, that's good. How's that going for you?
Good. It's going good so far.
Awesome. 2016 is looking good?
Mm-hmm.
Good. That's what we like to hear on this show. So I am Scott Gombar. I put my name on my company, which does digital marketing, and I help businesses find new qualified clients using all things internet related, like social media, like Google and SEO, like one of the topics today, content marketing. Looks like Wayne's having some difficulties. We tested yesterday or the day before and it looked good, but let's see.
It's like what happened with Renee.
Well, he had some problems. His daughter came and helped him out, and then those problems were fixed. He got right on the other day. So let's see what happens. And ads. I do digital advertising primarily through Google and some Facebook advertising. I pretty much avoid Twitter and LinkedIn advertising because they're not really that great. Any updates in the insurance world, Eugene?
Yeah, there's always updates, but I like to share stories of fraud because that's one of the factors that go into insurance rates. Unfortunately, when other people commit fraud, it has to be counted. So insurance companies know there's going to be fraud. So part of the rate includes having to pay unexpected fraud expenses because of people's what they call moral hazard. So in New York, there's a guy that's now being sued because he committed $82,000 worth of workers' comp fraud. He said he got injured in 1990, received workers' comp, went back to work in 2001 through 2014 as self-employed. So the state of New York caught him, and now he's in trouble for $82,000 worth of workers' comp.
Okay. They'll probably never see that money, but that's okay.
Nope.
So Eugene, I see you're at work today, so that means you didn't win the Powerball?
No. I actually won more on the scratch-off tickets that I bought along with the Powerball tickets.
That's good. So lunch is on you.
$10. I don't know, maybe dollar menu somewhere.
All right. Wendy's has that 4 for 4 deal. I'm not eating Wendy's, but anyway, is that Wayne? Okay. Yeah. So in my world, a couple of interesting updates. I wrote them down this time so I didn't forget. Twitter, there's lots of rumors flying around that Twitter is going to increase their character limit to 10,000 characters from 140 to 10,000, which is kind of insane. I'm not even sure Facebook's character limit is 10,000. And a lot of Twitter users that have been using Twitter for some time, including myself, don't really like this. Now, they say that what's going to happen is Twitter will have this, they'll still have the 140 characters, and then you can expand it to read the rest. Now, they already kind of have that using Twitter cards, but that's a whole nother, I have a blog post about that on my site. So if you want to understand what Twitter cards are about, that's the way to go. I don't think it's a 10,000 character limit, though. Snapchat is going to blow up. I was talking to Eugene about this earlier this week, I believe, and he is on Snapchat as well. But I don't know his ID. Is it the same as Twitter?
I think it's just the Yevgeny portion of it.
Yevgeny, okay. Mine is The Real Spizad, S-P-I-Z-A-D. Don't ask, Eugene. And I signed up when I didn't think Snapchat was going to turn into anything, but it is about to. Marketers have already flocked there. Gary V is all over it. I'm actually trying to get Gary Vaynerchuk on a blab, so we'll see if that pans out. But the marketers are all over it, which means it's only a matter of time before more businesses hop on and start using it to. And they're about to purchase an ad platform, so that means they're going commercial.
It's all about monetizing user base.
That's
they
right.
develop the user base, and then they monetize it.
That is correct.
That's what they all do.
And they all say we're not going to until they start seeing those dollar signs.
Well, yeah, it's all about trying to go public, I think. All these mobile companies are all trying to go public, and 90% of them end up failing.
Okay, so it looks like Wayne is still having a hard time. Let's see if I know he's got an iOS something, so let's see if he can just go that route. And finally, so Periscope, been around for a little while. Periscope is now on, if you go to Twitter, the Periscope's alive on Twitter. It's a Twitter app anyway, but you couldn't watch unless you were actually on Periscope. Now you can actually watch just from Twitter, your Twitter feed. So that's interesting. But Twitter's in trouble. Their stock went to below $20 a share. If it were me, I would say it's time to buy, but that's just me. But they're having some problems, and I think you're going to see some executive changes at Twitter. So we'll see what happens. Okay, Wayne, let's see if we can get this.
I mean, I like them expanding the character limit, but to 10,000, that's just like a college essay.
And I got to take. So I'm not sure what's going on with Wayne there. So today's topic is content development for business success, and why it's important to have a blog on your website, because it helps with not only with Google but with your users. And that's an important part of your marketing program, giving away information. So content development comes in a bunch of different forms. This is a form of content development, what we're doing right now on Blab. And then it's, obviously it's remarketed across different platforms, including YouTube and iTunes. But there's also the written blog. So Wayne is going to talk to us once he gets on. He's going to talk to us about the written blog part and writing for your static pages on your website. He's also going to talk to us about how to determine the best type of content for your site. So what should you be writing based on your business? We have a bunch of questions lined up for him. I think he emailed me, so let me see what it says. Any luck? No, we're not seeing you, Wayne. I'm not sure I would imagine, Wayne, that something is blocking again, and you probably, I was getting an alert the other day when it was blocking him, but I'm not today. Oh, I thought he had an iPhone or an iPad. I thought we discussed that.
Maybe he could try a different browser? Or does it only work on Chrome still?
No, it works on Firefox now. So if you can hear me, Wayne, try Firefox as well. If you're in whichever one you're in now, try the other one.
Yeah. No Windows Explorer or Edge, whatever they call themselves these days.
No, actually, Microsoft stopped supporting everything up and including Internet Explorer 10 now. So I think, what version do I have on this computer? I think they're on Internet Explorer 11, but now they have Edge as well.
I think that's what
I don't. What's that?
I don't use Edge. I have Windows 10, so I use the Internet Explorer, so whatever one is there. Seems to be working fine.
I don't use Internet Explorer at all, but let me see what
I have to, because these companies that we use only support Explorer.
Yes, it's 11. Yep. So they stopped supporting up to 10, up to and including 10. They stopped supporting Windows 8, which to me, I don't know, that seems a little crazy.
They don't support Windows 8 anymore?
No, they stopped, I think this week. So that to me is crazy, because how long did they support XP for? They just stopped that like last year.
Is that part of their push to get everybody on 10 as soon as possible? Because it's a free upgrade.
It is free, yes. And I like Windows 10. A lot of people don't like Windows 10, but I do. Well, it looks like it might work this time. Let's see.
I like it too. I don't have any issues with it so far.
Still, oh, there it is. So
make sure
Wayne,
you
I'm getting
firewall. Is that firewall blocking it?
Yeah, Wayne, it looks like the same problem we were having before we got it to work the other day. So firewall might be blocking it again, or you have a poor internet connection. He probably can't hear me.
That was And that was Linda Altieri. She just called me.
Oh, I'm actually meeting with her a week from Monday.
Nice.
About her site.
Yeah.
Where's Blab? So it looks like, here's Wayne again. Let's try.
Hopefully it works.
Am I on?
Come home. Nope. Same thing. Still firewall blocking it. Where's my mouse?
Oh, Wayne. What are we going to do, Wayne? Let's see.
I don't know. Scott, you might have to take over.
You want to ask me questions?
Yeah. I'll ask you all the questions we're going to ask. Ask Wayne. Especially the first one. Tell us about Wayne English, Scott.
So Wayne English is he's a few different things. He does content. Let's go to his website. He does content development. Hold on, let's see, what is it? Web content. I gotta bring up the website again. Hang on. And it says his firewall is off. Web content rx.biz.
Content. Yes.
So he does content marketing, social media marketing, and he's speaking engagements. So, but I think his focus is content marketing. He's also a contributor to the Business to Community website.
Mm-hmm.
And on his site, it says, our content promotes your best interests, those of your company and your products. You can believe that because we guarantee 100% in rating or you pay nothing. We publish 3 books and have local, national, and international publications online and in print. So that's Wayne in a nutshell. He, I do believe his content, because we've spoken in the past about him writing blog posts for clients and so forth. He is here with us in Connecticut. He's a little further north. Up, I think he's in the 84 corridor, somewhere near Manchester, I believe. So that's what he does. Actually, his profile says what he does too. We could have just read that. Web content author, writer, and speaker. So there you go. He is new to Blab. We got it working earlier this week, and for some reason today it's not working again. Due to network error, connection isn't blocked. Make sure your connection isn't blocked by a firewall. Wayne, I don't know if there's a way, maybe if you're wireless, if you can hardwire in. I'm not even sure he can hear me.
Can't do that.
You know, there's I went to a conference one time, and there was a guy that said you could pretty much write a book for free and Amazon will publish it.
This is true. I haven't really told a lot of people this, but I am in the process of writing a book, but it takes a backseat to everything else. So
Yeah.
it's moving right along. I've got the outline done. That's about it. It's been that way for quite some time now.
Is the topic secret or is it about?
It's not really a secret. It's not a technical book at all. It's more like a well, it's more like a book that who would write? Let's see, what do I have here on my desk? No Excuses by Brian Tracy. I guess it's along those lines. Jab, 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 right hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. Those kind of books. So I'm not giving technical information because that changes all the time, but I'm giving you like ideas of how to market, how to build your brand. I guess that's the way. Build your personal brand.
I like it.
Yeah. So it'll probably be an ebook and it'll probably be free. I don't anticipate charging. I got this book yesterday. This guy was at our breakfast club.
Do what works.
Yeah. Local. He's local. He's in, where did he say he was? He's in Connecticut somewhere. John Barb. So I didn't read it yet, but it looks like a nice, easy read, which is what I like. Otherwise I fall asleep.
I have 3 books that I'm going to buy within the next week to read over the next quarter or 2.
Yeah.
I'll
Was
tell
one
you.
of those the one that keeps coming up on our blabs?
Which one? The 7?
No, not that one. I think everybody has that book, right? There was one that keeps coming up. You keep referencing it. Oh, so you already read it. No, there was another one.
No, not the one I do. The one I do is...
There's another one that keeps coming up.
So, the 3 books... Ooh. A little phlegm action. The 3 books I have bookmarked are, if I could speak, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, then How Successful People Think, and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
The last one I've read. The other 2 I have not. Who
No.
are they all the same author? No.
No. The first 2 are by John Maxwell.
Oh, yes. I was going to get a John Maxwell book the other day, and I did not.
So those are the 3 books I'll be getting soon. Because I need to read more. That's one of my 2016 goals, is to read more.
No, that's not a New Year's resolution, is it? They never
No.
work.
I don't really have
So
resolutions.
let's see. We may have to bring Wayne on for a different episode, but let's just go through some of these questions.
All right.
My son doesn't have school today, and I can hear him coming down the stairs, so this can't be good.
Let's have him as a guest.
Yes, he's slowly walking down the stairs because I told him not to come in here, and he's still going to do it. That's my son in a nutshell. So, what types of content are important to successful website? So I know that.
Well,
I don't know.
before that,
go ahead.
what makes a website successful is another question I have before that.
What makes a website successful? There's a few different pieces. One, I think right now, probably the most important piece is your content, and that is in the form of, usually in the form of a blog for most sites. However, what some marketers, including myself, have started to do is create something like this, of some type of video content, and then translating it to written content. Now I don't translate every word that's spoken in this 1 hour because that's I don't have that kind of time. But blab, there's the next big thing. Transcribe your blabs. And do it better than Google Voice does. So what I do is I take the recording and I put it up on the site. So Growth Success Radio, every show has the video, the audio, and then a quick synopsis of what we talked about, and then relevant links to wherever they go. That is going to be the format moving forward. But currently on my business website, I have a few pieces of content that are like that, and then I have mostly written blog posts. And that's probably the most important piece. The other thing is you need to have whatever your business is. So you're in insurance, you should have the types of insurance your business does on there listed a few times, and think of the user experience, because the people that are coming to read your website, we both know an attorney who uses a lot of tech jargon, and comes off as not very client friendly because of it. You can't really do that in the world I'm in, the world you're in. There's a lot of tech talk that you understand the insurance world, I understand the digital marketing world. But if I try to talk like that with somebody who's not in that business, that would be like a doctor trying to explain to me in biology terms what's wrong with me. I'm not going to get it. You need to simplify it.
No.
So you have to simplify your website so that the average person coming to your website looking for what it is you do can understand it. I might be driving Wayne nuts because if he can hear me, he's probably like, I know this. He's trying. He's persistent. So that's probably the two most important pieces. So you have to have fresh, relevant content. So it's got to be relevant to what you do. And so I was actually talking to our cookie person, Marnie, a few days ago about blogging for her business. And, there's only so much content you can write about cookies. But I said, well, you also make corporate gift baskets. So maybe you should write a blog post about why it's important to thank your clients. And then that, that's a huge thing right now. That's relationship marketing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what you do, but it has to relate to what you do. So maybe Eugene, and I know you guys have a ton of regulations and stuff, but if you wrote a blog post about what to do if you get in a car accident, it's related to what you do. It's not exactly what you do because you're not a tow truck driver. You're not a personal injury attorney, right, Bob Gould? But you do sell auto insurance. So it relates to what you do. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I need to write more blogs.
So
I've actually never written one, but I want to because there's so much misconceptions about insurance, and it's the most misunderstood topic, I think, out of the financial world.
I can believe that. It definitely is. When it comes to life insurance, I've had some conversations, and everybody thinks when you talk life insurance, you're talking death. You're talking about your own demise, but that's not really true. You talk about a lot of different things when you talk about life insurance, and a lot of important topics, especially if you want to be taken care of towards the end of your life and you can't take care of yourself. It's important. Automobile insurance, most people think liability is enough. Even if you no longer have a car payment, they think liability is enough. And the truth is that's not true.
Well, probably even liability is people are underinsured liability-wise. They'll get into a car accident and somebody like Bob Gould will come, and next thing you know, their income's being garnished because they didn't have enough insurance. So because people know they just need the insurance, so they just get whatever they need to satisfy whatever, if it's a bank or anything else, but that's it.
Yep.
And they never think about it again.
And I can give you the perfect example to that. I got in an accident a year and a half ago, and we had full coverage, but my wife was pregnant at the time. So no, it's longer than a year and a half ago because the baby's almost 2. So it had to be 2.5 years ago. And we had full coverage. She was pregnant, so they took her by ambulance. They did not cover the ambulance. So we had to pay that. So that's exactly what Eugene is talking about. We didn't know any better because we went straight to Geico.
Most people do. Most people just go to whoever they see on TV.
Yeah, I don't watch much TV anymore. So what's the next question?
Next question is, how do you determine what content is appropriate for a particular business?
That's a good question, Eugene. You have to research. There is some research involved, and I will tell you, I was happy when I spoke to another mutual friend of ours, Jared, because when I first talked to him, he told me he had already hired another SEO. I do SEO. He hired somebody else to do SEO for him, but he told me the first month they were spending researching his business to find out what the best content was. And that's probably the single most important step, and that's probably the single most overlooked step in content development, researching what it is that content should be about. So what do I mean by that? Right, I did a blog post I posted over the weekend about Snapchat. And I could have wrote a blog post about anything, social media, and there's tons of platforms, tons of things I could write about. But I chose Snapchat, and here's why. Snapchat is getting a lot of buzz right now. It's been around for, I don't know, 4+ years, maybe 5 years now. And I've had an account with them for a little while. I didn't really use it much because it wasn't really, I have no desire to talk to 13-year-old kids. I barely want to talk to my own kids. Just kidding. Because my son is hovering. I can hear him. So I had no desire to use it. I just created to see what it was about. Now, our generation, just like what happened with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and everything else, our generation is, or my generation, it's not just millennials anymore. Other generations are starting to come over to Snapchat, and the marketers are there already, including some bigger names. There are, if you go on Snapchat today, there's CNN, there's, I saw they were showing snaps from the Nets game. So there's more marketing going on over there now, and they're going to purchase an advertising platform. So that means that Snapchat right now is the buzz, along with a couple other things that launched this week, which, because I don't have an iPhone, I can't really look at. There's something called Peach. So Eugene, you don't have an iPhone either.
I have an iPhone.
Oh, you do have an iPhone. So you should check that out when you get a chance, because it's not available on Android. This is supposed to be similar to Snapchat, I believe, but it's a little more closed, which is strange because I thought Snapchat was kind of closed as it was. But so I wrote about Snapchat because that's the hot topic right now. So you have to figure out what's going on. So for you, maybe it's seasonal. Like I know when we first started doing this show last year, it was hurricane season, and you talked a lot. And we had one that was potentially going to impact us. So you talked about how they were stopping homeowners from getting certain types of coverage and so forth for that weekend that the storm was supposed to hit.
Yep.
We never got the hurricane. So sometimes it's seasonal, sometimes it's the hot topic. You talked about insurance fraud a little while ago. See, I listen. So, maybe you write a blog post because that's the hot topic. Although I think insurance fraud has been a hot topic for years.
Ever since it's been around, there's been insurance fraud. And I'm not even including medical insurance fraud because that's a whole different ballgame, how much of that's going on. I'm just talking about what they call property and casualty insurance fraud.
Wayne is trying again. So yeah, there's a lot of research involved. I use Google Alerts. You can go to Google Alerts and create alerts for different topics. You could go to google.com/trends and see what the trending topics are. You can, just pay attention on social media. You'll see what people are talking about. I also use something called the keyword planner from Google that helps me figure out I put in certain phrases, or I put in a website and I can see what the most relevant searches are. And sometimes it's surprising. So when I first started my business, I called it an inbound marketing agency. And there are 3 times as many searches for digital marketing as there are for inbound marketing. So I slowly started to change it over to digital marketing. Now, there are some minor differences between the two, but because there's 3 times more searches and it's not that big of a difference, I may as well go with the digital marketing. So that's a little bit of the research that gets done. You can spy on your competition. That's actually not frowned upon. Different things to find out what relevant content is. You create a blog calendar. I will admit that I'm not the best when it comes to creating a blog calendar because I don't know what I'm going to write about 3 weeks from now, or if I will write, I don't know. But that's another suggestion, to create a blog calendar and plan it out. Some people do it by the quarter, some do it by the year. I don't know how you could plan it out for the year, but some people do.
That's tough. You could have set blog posts for the year. So like, for example, for me, I could do 4 seasonal blog posts, and then sprinkle in other ones here and there based on what's relevant. Do it that way.
previous guest of ours, Teresa De Grey, has blog posts. I think she told me for the year.
That's
I don't
crazy.
know how she does it,
That's
but I
crazy.
know that some of her posts are taken directly from specific legal sites. So not all of it's her own content, but still, that's a lot of work. What else you want to know about content marketing, Eugene?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
Go for it. Your blog should be connected to your website, by the way. So I know that I've seen it in the past where website owners, businesses will have their content, their blog on a separate platform or a separate website. So WordPress.org or WordPress.com has their own blogging space. Google has one called, I think it's called Bloggers or something like that. I've never used it. Tumblr or there's a couple of other sites out there, but it should be part of your website. So it should be, Traeger Insurance /blog or Scott Gombar /blog. Now, I'm not saying don't blog somewhere else. You should blog on other sites as well. I think I mentioned Wayne here blogs on business to community as I do. And I also occasionally post something to LinkedIn, and that's fine. The thing to keep in mind is Google doesn't like duplicate content. So it's only going to rank one or the other. So if you blog on LinkedIn and you also share that same blog on your website, which one do you think Google's going to favor?
Website.
No, it's going to favor LinkedIn because LinkedIn is the authority. That was a tip.
I'm an insurance guy. I
Yeah.
know all these things.
So, that's fine to do that, but it's not going to help your website, except that by blogging on LinkedIn, you have a bigger reach potentially, and that builds awareness to your brand. Whenever I blog on business to community, which isn't often, it's, maybe 4 times a year, easily 400 to 500 shares at a clip. And that's not even that many for that site. So you're creating brand awareness when you do that. Your own blog should be a part of your website. It should not be a separate platform.
Okay. So, we hear blog everywhere. Blog this, blog that. What is a blog in your words, and why is it important?
Blog is short for weblog. So if you think of it in those terms, it's a log of your web activity. And really that's what it is. You're writing, you have a fairly static website. So you have your home page, your about page, maybe your services or products page.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that content is pretty static. It doesn't change very often. Your blog is information that is constantly updated, relevant to today, because your homepage may have not changed in years, or very minor changes over the years. But your blog is content that's relevant to right now. And it should be related to what it is you're doing business. Or, maybe it's not a business site, but whatever it is you do, it should be related somehow to what you do. So it's just short for a web log. And it's just a log of things you do. If it's a business site, it's a log of things your business does or wants to do or related to what your business does. I mean, I've written blog posts about firing clients. I've written blog posts about different social platforms, how to find your ideal client, but it's all related to what I do in some form or another. So it's just a log. And there's people now that use Vlog, VLOG.
Mm-hmm.
It's just video log. So this would be a form of a vlog.
Okay. Yeah, and I think blogs are a lot of things. I mean, it's almost like a op-ed. You can post opinions, you can post whatever you want on it. I think it's another way you can connect to your clients on a personal level, because you're the one that wrote it, and they can see your thoughts and how you think.
This is true. And that's a good point. Your blog should be in your voice as much as possible. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have guest bloggers, but make sure that they get the credit for writing the blog.
Absolutely. But I think it's powerful if you actually are the content creator of that blog and you write it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now there are website owners that just don't have the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they pay ghostwriters, and that's fine. But the reason I tell people not to do that, if you can avoid it, is because it's not your voice, and what you write should be your voice. And people can tell if, you have 10 blog posts and one of them is not in your voice, they can tell.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of blogs, what would you say is a good length for a blog? I mean, do you make it like an essay? Do you make it, a few hundred words? What's a good size blog that will generate the most views without people getting bored?
Yeah, that's a tricky topic as well. So Google likes blogs to be at least 500 words. And the more words, the better for Google. However, users probably won't read I know me personally, I skim. So even when I'm editing, and that's why sometimes I miss stuff, even when I'm editing my own blog post, I will skim it. And some, like my last blog post was over 1,000 words. And I have probably a couple that approach 2,000. I would say somewhere between 500 and 1,000 is probably safe for both, because you start to get more than 1,000 people probably aren't going to read it, which is another reason why I tell people, if you can, and it's not possible for everybody, but if you can, have a video/written blog. So if you can do a video, because me personally, I'd rather watch a video than read. I'm just not a reader. It's not that I can't read. I can read, but I'm just not a reader.
I think that's the future. Nobody reads. Everybody just wants to see the video.
Yeah, I saw a crazy stat not too long ago, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something around half of the people that finish college never read a book again. That's a crazy stat.
I believe that. I was never a big reader anyways. I never, even like college books, in college, I would just skim as much as possible, or look in the back for the words that I need and just go to that section and read that section. I don't think I ever fully read a full college textbook throughout the course.
I'm pretty sure I didn't either, but why would you? I mean, even in the classes, they don't have you read the whole thing. They usually have you read the parts they want you to read that's relevant to the classroom.
Absolutely.
But yeah, a lot of people don't read. So you got to develop content, and that's the thing. You have to have content for the people, for your audience. So you have to meet them where they are. They're not going to meet you where you are. You have to meet them where they are, which is also social media marketing. Go where they are. So yeah, make sure I would say between 500 and 1,000 is probably say 500 plus because of Google, but more than 1,000, you're going to lose some readers unless you're also translating it into audio or video format.
Okay. All right. Next question. What direction do you see content marketing going in the future?
This right here. This is it. As a matter of fact, I got invited to another platform. I thought it said something else, so I said, yeah, I'll join. And it didn't. It was similar to this, and I forgot the name of it now. But let me see if I can find it. But very similar to this. It hasn't launched yet, but they invited me to sign up, and then when it does launch, I'll be able to try it out. And this is not the only, Blab is by far not the only platform that does this. Google Hangouts did this for a long time. The problem with Google Hangouts is there were a lot of technical pieces that people were not comfortable with. So they didn't, a lot of people didn't use it. Blab makes it very easy to use. There is, there's Zoom. Zoom isn't open like this one, so you don't have an audience. There is, I can't remember.
Well, Facebook has video.
Facebook is in the process of launching Facebook Live, which is going to challenge Periscope. which is interesting because there was another challenger to Periscope called Meerkat. Meerkat kind of fizzled. They're still around, but they fizzled. Periscope is owned by Twitter and is not like this. So we don't have face-to-face conversation, but it's live video, and I can and there can be people in the chat that chat to you, but it's just one person talking. So it's a monologue. But that's the direction of content development. It's going to be videos. So YouTube has YouTube Live, which they've had for a while, but they didn't really push it until Blab started making noise. I'm trying to find the one that sent me an invite.
I saw actually
Go live with.
I saw somebody do the Facebook Live thing the other day.
Yeah, it's becoming more. It's through pages, by the way. You can't do it through personal, or at least that's what they're saying for now. But it's only through Facebook pages, verified businesses. And who did I see? I think it was Engadget was doing it. They were using it from the Consumer Electronics Show the other day. So it's big names right now, but it's starting to trickle down. Let's see. Wayne is he's persistent. I'll give him that.
That's fine.
And thank you for joining. I can't say your name. I'm sorry. Azuga Ali. Sorry.
We'll just say Ali. Thanks for joining, Ali.
Yes, Ali. Thanks for joining. Our guest is having some technical difficulties. We did test, I believe, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, yesterday, and it was working. So I'm not sure what's going on, but we're still having a conversation about content development. Eugene is grilling me because I do develop my own content as well, and I do develop for a few clients, and then I pay to have some other people's content developed.
Okay.
What else you got?
All right. What are some factors to consider when developing content for the static pages of your website?
Yeah, that's important too. And you see it all the time where websites have a couple of words and then a bunch of images. Your images, and that's another important piece too, even to blogging, is that you should have images, and the images require certain meta tags for Google only. Well, not for Google only. Let me rephrase that. So you should have image tags, and I'll give you the perfect example. If you go to my site right now, I don't know what happened, but with a WordPress update, for some reason, my blog post images will not show up in Chrome. It's very weird. I can't figure out what's going on. So because the image isn't there, you see what the image is supposed to be. There's a little blurb that says what it's supposed to be, or it's related to the content. So it's important for that reason, because if you get somebody, or if they use a text-only browser, those still exist. So if they use a text-only browser, they can see what the image should be. So you should have images, but they should be, maybe one for every 250 words or something along those lines. Is usually, they have to be spaced out, so they can't be all bunched up together. So images that are related to your business that you didn't steal from Google. So make sure you own the rights to those images. And if you're going to use stock photos, make sure you purchase them and keep the license. I do know somebody who was sued. And the site owner was sued, not the content developer. The site owner was sued. So that's important to know. But if you can, use your own images. So I have some stock images. Yes, that's what I was talking about, Wayne. So Wayne can hear us. Include alt data with the images, exactly. I do have some stock images on my site, but then I also have some of my own images. So the more images you have of your own, the better. Your static content is, the reason it's called static is because it doesn't change much, but it should be, you have to do the same research you would for a blog post, figure out what it is your business does, share that information on your website. You should have a story. People love stories. That's why Snapchat has gotten so big so fast, because it's all stories. People love stories. So write a good story, and don't be afraid to show some of the history, even if it's not a very positive history. So I keep referencing Teresa. Eugene calls her my BFF, but her story is very interesting as to why she became a bankruptcy attorney, and it's on her website.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very interesting. You wouldn't expect it, but It makes her very relatable to her clients.
Exactly. And she speaks about it too. She does speak. If you speak, and you'll find that a lot more people are doing that now. It's not an easy thing to start, but once you get rolling, like mine are coming in left and right lately. But once you get rolling in it, you start getting a lot of engagements. Make sure you share that on your website. So share what you're doing to the rest of the world, not just this is what I do, but also what you're doing. If people have an opportunity to come and see you talk about what it is you do, every speaking engagement I've ever had worked into some form of business. And so now I have one next week, one the following week, one maybe 2 weeks after that. So every time I speak, I do get business from it, even if I speak for free. Some of those are free. Some of them, one is paid, two are free. But I don't have a problem doing, some people have a problem doing free speaking engagements, but I don't. So you should have that. Keep a log of that on your website, because now they can see the progression too. So like the first couple I did were pretty small, and as I've grown, they've gotten bigger. I once spoke to an audience of 2 people. I guess that's a 1-to-1. I should have just added that to the 1-to-1.
I think that was more of a conversation than speaking.
It's pretty much what it was. We have some people joining, so feel free, guys. It's kind of turned into an open dialogue because our guest is having. I did an audience of 1 person. There you go. That's a meeting link. So he's talking to us in the chat, but he's having difficulty jumping in the seat. So if anybody else wants to talk to us about content marketing, content development, feel free to take the open seat. We've only got about 10 minutes left, but Wayne, we will definitely try to get you back on at a later date. We may even be able to try next week. We'll see. We've got, I have one guest back out, and we asked someone else, but I haven't gotten an answer yet.
Bob Gould said he'll do it.
Did he reply?
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay, so we do have somebody. Oh, yeah, he did 6 minutes ago. Where do you film? In your office, Bob.
At an accident scene.
There you go. We'll do it live at an accident scene. So that's good to know. Next week, live on Blab, we will have Bob Gould, Robert Gould. He's the owner of Gould Law. He is a personal injury lawyer, and those guys get a bad rap. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. People call them ambulance chasers, and I plan to ask him about that. He's a really good guy, though. He just believes in people's rights. So we're going to have him on to talk about that. So that's next week, 10 a.m. Friday. So, Wayne, we'll try to get you in at the end of the month then. Eugene, any other questions you want to fire off? So your static content should be relevant to what you do. There should be a story, not on the homepage, but there should be an about page with a story of how you got going. And then, you know, I'm actually developing a site now for another personal injury firm that Bob actually referred me to, believe it or not. And they each of the attorneys has their own bio, so that's also good to have. Services pages or product pages, depending on what it is you do, they should be there. Try to break them up as much as possible. There shouldn't be a lot of web pages, and that's something I'm working on for my site now, because I do have a lot of pages. You can't tell by going there initially, but there's a lot of service pages. I'm building a new site, and I'm going to minimize the amount of pages that are on the site. I've broken my business up into 3 core pieces. I didn't break it up, but I've realized there are 3 core pieces to my business, so I'm trying to simplify that a little bit. So it should be simple. They say that people should be able to get to anywhere on your site within 3 clicks.
Nice. For your site, you're going to have a section now, since it's becoming a big portion, the speaking stuff?
Yeah, there already is. I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but there is a section already. And it's something I was a corporate trainer before I got into this full time. I was doing it as a freelancer for a little while, but I was a corporate trainer, and I always loved talking to people, teaching people. So,
yeah.
Scott, be sure you develop for a smartphone. Yes, 3 clicks.
Yes.
So Wayne also says make sure you develop for a smartphone. So yeah, that's very important that your website is mobile friendly for sure. If it's not, you're going to lose a lot of potential business because more than half of all searches are now mobile. That happened late spring, I believe, last year. So more than half of all searches are now mobile. So if you're not addressing that, you're going to lose potentially half of your traffic to your site.
Well, people will just leave your site if it's not mobile compatible. I know I do. If I see a website that's not mobile, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Because you have to zoom, you have to pinch your screen to find where to click.
You have stuff scrolling over to all the way to one side. You can't even see what it is. Yep.
And you have ads pop up that block everything.
Oh, I can't stand that. I cannot stand when you go the news sites. It's annoying. You go to a news site and all you see is you can't even read the story. You close the ad, another one pops up, and it's just like, all right, forget it. I don't need to know it that bad.
The worst part is when you try to close the ad and you accidentally click in the wrong spot and it goes to the ad's website.
Yes. So how much Viagra did you order?
A ton.
There are add-ons that delete. Yes, Yes, I think all browsers actually have that add-ons to block the ads. I'm almost positive Chrome has it as well. And then there's some for the phones. And so that's actually another topic for another day because there are people trying to figure out how do you get around that because they want their ads to be seen. Your ads shouldn't be annoying. It should be non-obtrusive. If people want what your ad is about, they'll look for it. You should not be punching you in the face when you go to a website.
Yeah. I don't know if you know or Wayne knows. I wonder what the statistic is of how successful those mobile ads are.
See, I bet that those numbers are not real. And the reason is because of what you said. You accidentally click on it. Like I play chess on my phone and it has an ad. Every time you make a move, there's an ad after the move. And I accidentally click on the ad every now and then, like you said. But that's not a real click. I didn't mean it. I immediately close it. So I would imagine that those numbers are probably skewed a little.
I'd love to see some ROI stats on not just the clicks, but the revenue generated from those ads.
The CPA. People don't like ads.
Because clicking is one thing, but actually buying the product is another.
Yes.
Subscribing, whatever it is.
So Wayne's comment is people don't like ads. That's why pertinent content and promotion is so important. And then, again, that is true. And in some ads, again, if the ad is not like annoying type of ad, like a pop-up or a page over, then I'm okay with that because I can ignore it if I choose to. But sometimes the ads, if I'm searching for something, an ad is important because it's what I'm searching for. And maybe that whoever that person is, that business is, has a better deal than what I originally found. So I'm okay with those types of ads. I'm not okay with the ones, especially on mobile devices, that just take over your phone screen. It's the Record Journal is good for that. Oh, they drive me nuts.
Well, they need to make money somehow.
Newspapers need to rethink their whole plan. And I love how you can buy an ebook for like a tenth of what a paperback book costs, but when it comes to magazines, they actually charge you more for the digital version.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense. No. When all that print stuff is going by, why you saw what happened with New Haven Register.
Yeah, Jordan's is there now.
It's now. Yep.
All right, Eugene, any last questions?
No, I think that's it. We're running out of time here.
Yes, we are. Got to go back to work.
We can have 5-hour blabcast about this.
Speaking of which, I'm on Blab Monday with Zef Zan at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm her guest. Again, Wednesday at 9 p.m. with golf and network and golf. It's totally different login, so it's blab.im/network and golf. I'm probably going to forget one. Thursday, I'm on at, I believe, 12 noon Eastern with Zeph again, but this time we're interviewing Marnie. She's the owner of Moon Rocks Gourmet Cookies. And then Eugene and I are back here Friday, 10 a.m. Oh, I'm on Blab at noon today with Network and Golf. But Eugene and I are back on Friday, 10 a.m. We're going to talk to Bob Gould, as I mentioned earlier. He's a personal injury attorney. So if you slip and fall, or you get in a car accident, or you're a victim of medical malpractice and so forth, he's your guy. So he's going to join us and talk to us about how he built his practice from nothing. I actually know part of his story. There's a story again, Eugene. It's a really good story. So join us next week for that story. Eugene, any parting thoughts? Who's going to win this weekend?
Ooh, it's tough. I hope Kansas City wins.
Yes, me too.
I hope the Patriots lose.
I agree with that one.
And I'd like to see Carolina win as well.
Okay.
And who's the last?
Yeah, no Seattle, no New England. I agree with you on that.
No Seattle, no.
I want to see Peyton go out on top.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can. The good news for him is Antonio Brown is not playing and Big Ben is limping. So,
yeah, I don't think the Steelers could win without Brown.
And the other game is Green Bay and who's left? Green Bay and Arizona. Arizona's. You would think Arizona will light them up, but I think Aaron Rodgers and company woke up last week, so we'll see. That one I think is going to be a good game to watch. So, all right, we'll talk. We'll see if our predictions were right. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go with Kansas City because they're hot. I'm going to go with Denver.
I agree with you there. I'll go with Denver
I'm
too.
going to go with Carolina because Carolina's got an axe to grind. And I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think Green Bay can take Arizona.
I'm going to go with Arizona.
All right, so we differ. That's the only game we differ on, Green Bay and Arizona. So you guys write that down. It's recorded. We'll see if we're right. And if, I don't know, this could turn into something else here. We could take over Boomer and Carton.
That would be amazing.
Yes, it would. I'll take it.
Start giving out picks.
Yeah. We'll have to wait till next year now. All right, Eugene, I will talk to you later. And everybody have a great day. Wayne, we will reschedule. Maybe for January 29th is still open, I believe. But until next week, everybody have a great week next week, and we'll see you on Friday.
All right.